My name is Quentin D'Souza. I am the Chief Education Officer of the Durham Real Estate Investment Club. You're watching Real Deal Renos. This is a series of videos showing real estate investors in the local area how they're investing in real estate, what type of renovations they're doing, and how they're able to make cash flow. And you can do it too. Thanks for having me at your on your job site here on your property and the work that you're doing. So why did you decide on this property in particular in this area?
Sure. My pleasure to have you over, Quentin.
Thank you.
I guess what initially attracted me to this particular place is my understanding of buying rate. So this place, I guess, was a bit run down when my realtor showed it to me. So I guess I knew the value of the places around here, and I know I could get this a little under that value. So I had some equity right away in the purchase. So that was the initial attraction to the place. I mean, if you were here, which you kind of were, I think.
I was actually.
And you saw this place when I first bought it. It was like the people before were doing renovations and ran out of money, and so it kind of stopped midway, and there was water damage downstairs. So it's like it was the perfect place to kind of get in at a lower price relative to market. So that was the first reason. The second reason is that now I'm not from Whitby, so I don't know the area as well as most people do. But my realtor is from here and does and has done this basement suite, building basement suite before, and so. This is an A+ area. Just over there is Cochrane, and just down the street are $1 million homes. So one of the most important things to me in purchasing a home is the tenant and the profile. And I think I've got a great profile here and some great long-term value. So those are a couple reasons why I'm in this area.
Okay. Well, what was if you were to look at the house before you did the renovations? And maybe actually before we even go there, what type of renovations did you do on this property? I remember seeing it, I had the privilege of seeing it before. I don't know if privilege is the right word, but it was the old shag carpet, there's a fireplace on that side. I remember old iron fireplace. There was storage area and kind of furnace room on the right. But you've changed this property and it looks really good. So maybe if you could describe, what were the type of renovations that you did here?
Sure. Well, let me start by saying that this was a single-family home when I purchased it, and the goal was to create a legal duplex out of it. So right away, that means basically gutting the basement and drawing up the what would be the future basement, and then creating it. So. Basically, yeah, you described it kind of right. It was run down in here. There was a big wall that went across the center of the room, and there was a bedroom in the back corner. There was a bathroom over there. Like you said, there was a stove, and then all the laundry facilities, and then the main room here, which had water damage and carpet. And, so I basically came in here and started with a demo, gutted the place out, and then started putting it together according to the plans. Putting up I got the plumbing in, the drains, the electrical came in to do some of the safety work to get some power in the house, and then the framing, and it all sort of started coming together.
Sounds like you're a really handy guy. Yeah. Handy guy.
No, okay, so yeah, I should start by saying I remember coming into my first property, or this is one of my first ones, and I just couldn't. I'm so green. I wasn't raised handy. I didn't know what a rough-in was. I didn't know a lot of the lingo. So just trying to listen to an electrician talk to me, or a plumber talk to me about drains and just how everything worked. They were, 100 paces ahead of me, and I had no idea. It was a lot of faith. And relying on people that knew what they were doing, like my coaches and my realtors, and people that had done this a few times to kind of guide me through the process. But I don't there are no regrets. The best way to do it is to jump in and have things over your head, and you pick things up slowly. I'm happy to say I know what a rough-in is now. I'm happy to say that I can follow up what a plumber is saying and what an electrician is saying a lot better than I did. There are still learnings. Don't get me wrong. I'm still early. I'm still very green. But I've put a few things together. I like getting my hands dirty, and I like talking and learning. So, but yeah, it was a real shocker when I first walked in, and I was like, "What am I doing? What have I got myself into?" But it's turned out pretty good, and I can't wait to continue.
Great, that's awesome. And I think what might surprise people is that you were able to take on this renovation, even though there was like the water damage and those different areas that you were pointing out before. You still felt that you could go out and get started on it, and take a little bit of risk and start down that path. And now the place looks totally different. But when you first saw the home, what do you think it would have rented for if you picked up the property and just rented it out as a single-family home?
Sure. Let me take a step back and just mention the water issue. So the water is a big factor. So I like finding places with water damage because generally you can buy them better because people don't want to handle those kinds of problems. But I guess some of the contractors that I work with, one of their specialties is putting in interior weepers in places. So that's what we have in this place all around the perimeter as an internal weeper to handle any water situations, and it would all go into a sump pump up and out. Sometimes the water damage is a good thing for a real estate investor because you can capitalize on the purchasing of the property and then easily take care of a situation like that with backflow preventers and an interior weeper. So that kind of addresses your water question. As I said, I purchased as a single-family home. So if you rent this as a single-family home, I'm guessing you would probably take home $1,500 to $1,600 a month. So that, I think that would cover the mortgage maybe, but you'd still have, that's definitely a negative cash flow on this property. So about $1,500 or $1,600.
And what about what you've done now? So you've created a legal basement suite. How many bedrooms do we have down here?
So we have 2 good-sized bedrooms downstairs.
Okay.
I could have done 3, but that's a personal preference. I know some people that would probably put in 3. But I like 2 good-sized rooms, and so that's how many I have down here. So in terms of rent, because this area is an A to A plus area, I'm looking for probably $1,150 down in the basement plus utilities, and $1,350, $1,400 upstairs. So that's what, $25, $26 a month.
Plus utilities on both.
Plus utilities on both, and I've separated the hydro. So there's 2 panels in the place, so they'll have separate hydro, and then we would kind of prorate the rest of the utilities based on square footage.
What do you think, based on that, your cash flow will be, not including maintenance and repairs and vacancy? What do you think your cash flow on this property about?
Before the refinance or after the refinance? So before the refinance, we cash flow about $800 a month.
Okay.
Yeah, about 800. Maybe more than that without the vacancy.
Right.
And then after a refinance, on a conservative basis, probably 600.
Oh, okay.
500 or 600.
Right, and you figure you take out, on the refinance, 60.
I hope to do really well on the refinance. So I purchased this property for $320.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put probably about 55 or 60 in terms of renovations.
Right.
And on a conservative basis, I think it'll appraise for about $420 at least.
420. So you're going to take out most of your money.
Yeah, I'll probably leave about, again, depending on where I end up with my renovation costs, I'll probably end up in for 40 to 45.
40 to 45.
Yeah.
And you're going to cash flow
About $500 to $600 a month.
That's I gotta give you a high five right now.
This is
a rocking deal.
This is what motivated me to continue on. Well, I mean, I had other properties that I didn't do as well in, but everything is a learning curve.
That's right.
And I guess one of the pieces of advice I have for anybody is that you can't let those problems get in your way. You got to push through. Why did you get into this? Just to melt after the things go wrong? No, those things are going to happen in every household or in every renovation. Things are going to come up. You're not going to be able to expect them. But a real estate investor pushes through, and so that's what I've kind of done on some of the more problem properties that that I've had, and then you get places like this where things are going really well, and you're like, wow, this is and it's a learning, right? I learned from other properties, and I've done better on this property. So yeah, this is where it's at, this property, and I hope to continue to do better. How I'm going to improve is improving my renovation costs.
Right.
So I still find that fairly high, or higher than I would like it at 55 or 60. I like to get them between 35, 40-ish, and I think that's a solid renovation for building a basement suite, assuming you don't have tons of work upstairs.
That's right. Excellent. That's great, and
Yeah.
that's good numbers for people to know. Would you mind doing a bit of a tour of the
Absolutely.
place?
Yeah.
So this is your stackable laundry. You've got the drain in the bottom of this unit. Would you do the same thing again if you were to do this project again?
Yeah, I don't think I would put a laundry basin like this in a basement again, just because you're in a basement, the water's got nowhere down to go. It'll find, you'll be able to clean it up a lot easier in a basement. I would, however, continue to put a laundry basin with a drain in the upstairs unit because I don't want water problems coming through from the top floor to the bottom floor. So it's important for myself to put in a drain and have that extra caution just in case I do have water problems. But I think in a basement, I will stay away from the, putting in a laundry basin. In fact, I think from now on, I'll try to get the laundry stack, if possible, in the utility room where there is a drain.
Right.
That'll be the first option, and then if that doesn't work, I'll try to figure out the next best spot for it. But I don't think I'll do this again. No.
Okay. Can we take a look around?
Absolutely. So here we have a bathroom. It's got a tub.
Wow.
And,
That's got like you got like a timed fan in here. Look at this. What is this?
yeah.
Oh man,
This is
luxury.
This is my electrician. I'm also learning the electrician and three-way switches and the nice to haves.
Oh, okay.
But it's all good.
Yeah.
And so just your normal. What do you call these? There's 12 by 12 tiles.
12 tiles.
So
See, most people would have gone with like the smaller tiles. Why did you go with the 12 by 12 versus a smaller tile?
it's just easier to put up and less labor cost
Okay.
because it takes a lot longer for somebody to come in here and tile with the smaller tiles. So these are just Lowe's tiles. They're very affordable and they're relatively easy and straightforward to put up. So one thing that my contractor didn't do right here was he put in the wrong colored grout. I wanted him to put in linen grout, but I found out he had some eye issues, and this wasn't Tyler.
Oh.
This is somebody else.
Okay.
But it's still all right, and I'll deal with that situation. But there's always, like I said, something that comes up, and you just got to deal with the situation. It's not terrible, but it's not my.
Well, I mean, I appreciate you having us in. I know you're still in the process of completing the renovations.
Yeah.
So can we take a look at some of that? Maybe the utility room.
Sure.
What are some of the things that you've done here?
The utility room is
and
exciting.
Beware of the sprinkler head.
I'm not sure what they were thinking when they put that there.
All right.
But I don't want any issues. So we have to think of something to put around that sprinkler head, actually, for tall people like yourself, Quentin.
Yeah.
But if we start over here,
Yeah.
so I was saying earlier that we have an internal weeper in the place. And so basically, when water comes in, it'll go down into the weeper and find its way into the sump pump here on the ground. And then it'll start operating and pump the water up through this pipe and out in the back. And then I'll have a longer pipe out back that carries it to the back of the backyard away from the house.
Nice. And I noticed that you have an alarm on your sump pump. Not everybody does that. Did you know that that's an extra feature, and it's a nice feature actually because it's telling you that
Something's going on there.
there's a high level of water it's overflowing,
Right.
and then the alarm goes off and says, "Hey, there's something wrong here." Right.
Right.
That's a cool feature.
I've also got a battery backup on there just in case the electrical goes.
Nice.
So yeah.
A little extra. And what do we have here? People don't know what this is.
Oh, what
I
did
bet.
my electrician say? I think this is a duct detector or something
Right.
like that. Duct detector. And basically what happens here is that if there's a fire in the utility room, this will just shut down the furnace.
That's right. Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a little white magnet on here somewhere.
Yeah,
There usually is. And what the inspector will do is he'll come in. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
And he'll grab this and he'll do something like this and make sure it
Yeah,
shuts
test
off or
magnet.
something. There you go. See, so it's operating. That's what they'll do.
Shuts off the gas to the unit, or shuts off the unit itself.
That's right. So actually, when I purchased this property, there was an oil tank in here. It was an oil furnace.
Wow.
So I've replaced the entire furnace.
Was
The
it-
ductwork was pretty much the same. We just
Yeah.
kind of moved it a little bit.
Yeah.
But the furnace is brand new.
What about the sprinklers here?
Yeah, so that's
probably
code.
not there.
No. So you need sprinklers in Whitby,
Yeah.
probably in Oshawa as well,
Yeah.
around. So we've got 3 sprinkler heads, 1, 2 that's going to decapitate somebody,
Yeah.
and then 1, 3 around the back. And then I've got a 50-gallon water tank there in the corner.
Great.
Again, I think 50 gallons is key for a legal duplex. You don't want property management issues, so I think anything less than a 50, you're going to start dealing with, you're going to run out of hot water fast.
Okay.
So I think 50 is minimum. And we had problems. So initially I called, who was it? Reliance Comfort, and to get them to bring in the water tank, and they couldn't fit it through.
That area?
Yeah, so I had to special order this from Enercare and get a taller, thinner one,
Wow.
because they're fatter and shorter from Reliance. They don't have the taller ones, so I actually had to go to Enercare and get them.
do that.
Yeah, I was actually going to call my HVAC guy, and he was going to try to look for one, but then Enercare had these, so
That worked out.
yeah, it all worked out okay. Yeah, so
One of the other things I noticed is that you have the strobe and is that a smoke and CO2 detector right above the
Yep.
the area there?
that's right. So when you're building new duplexes in Whitby, it's a requirement that you have to have these strobe and smoke and carbon dioxide detectors in every room. So
That's crazy.
yeah, and those things are expensive too.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know, I think it's $1.50 to $2 a pop.
Yeah.
So if you're having them in every room, yeah, it can get kind of. So
Adds-
I'm waiting for my realtor or yourself to find them cheaper.
That's right. I'm looking.
So let me know.
I'm looking. All right, let's take a look at your bedrooms here.
Sure. Yeah, so good sized bedrooms, 2 good sized bedrooms, I think. This is probably the smaller one. I don't know, it's just your normal bedroom. Egress windows you can get out.
Yeah.
And over there, it's not installed yet, but we'll have a corner or our closet going in there. So a good sized closet and plenty of space.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
So not much more than that. And again, right here, you got your strobe smoke.
Yeah. Combo
Smoke,
there.
so.
Great. All right. Let's take a look at the other bedroom.
Yep. So this one's a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Put some materials in here. Yeah, so just slightly bigger, and you'll have your closet in the corner here.
Great.
But otherwise, it's pretty much the same.
Good stuff.
And then you got a good sized main room, which is where most of our conversation is taking place.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty attractive place.
I think so,
Actually,
too.
it's going to do well. I think people. In fact, I think I've already got somebody that's interested. Across the street, actually, there's a gentleman that lives there, and his girlfriend is moving to town, and has already come in and checked out the place.
Oh, excellent.
So
That's great.
yeah, so I think it'll work out well.
Do you mind if we go and take a look at the upstairs?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, great. So what happened here? This used to be something else. What did it not? Or
Right. So when
It's
you're
not a
creating
wall.
when you're creating a legal duplex, you want to separate the top and the bottom unit. So when I first purchased the home, you could walk in this side door and just walk right upstairs. So basically, we just closed this off, and you have to close it off with 5/8 Type X drywall and safe and sound in the insulation. So basically, this was open and it's closed. So now it's a completely separate unit.
excellent. So it looks like you're doing some laundry in your living room. Is that?
Yeah, that's not the right location for the laundry, but as I was telling you, I'm making the same laundry basin if you want to come take a look.
Yeah.
Here in the kitchen. So it's actually a clever way to find a space for a laundry, is when you get these single family homes, sometimes that door to the upper unit, before you close it off, is a great spot for putting in, you close off to make the two units separate, and you've got this open space in the kitchen to then just put a perfect laundry stack. So I did the same thing at another one of my properties, and yeah, took advantage here. So these were stairs coming up, and I just leveled it out, shoved in, put in a new wall, and just now we've got a separate unit here for the laundry. And I won't cover this because it's I won't put a door or anything on this because it's out of the way. Whereas downstairs it was kind of in the middle of the kitchen. Here
Right.
it's just kind of out of the way.
Great.
Yeah. Nothing much going on in the kitchen. This is the original kitchen.
Yeah.
The original appliances except for the dishwasher. I put in new vinyl floor and just tidied up the kitchen cabinets.
Great. All right, and so we've got I guess just a regular closet there.
Yeah.
And we've got these bedrooms that are looking quite big.
Yeah, there's this is a 3-bedroom upper unit, and again, there's really not much work done here. There's just new floor, laminate floor, walnut laminate floor, and we painted and put in trim, or painted the trim. I think we put in new trim, yes.
Okay.
But other than that, it's really just cosmetic, and paint the doors, put in new doorknobs.
Well, look at that bathroom.
Okay, so this is the original bathroom. So here's where, like for myself, this one was really difficult. So this is where people around you that have done this a number of times really help, because I want to come in here and I see this backsplash that's supposed to go in the kitchen on my bathroom, and it drives me nuts. But I'm not going to get any more rent to change that. It's going to cost me a lot more money to redo this bathroom. So what you see here is actually exactly how I purchased this property. I haven't touched it. So what am I saying? It hasn't cost me a penny.
Excellent. Good stuff. So, just a couple different things. One is, I think what you've done is you've taken a property where it exists now and brought it up to the highest and best use possible. And for this particular property, without having to do rezoning or anything like that, the highest and best use of the property would be a duplex, right?
That's correct, yeah.
And so what you've done is you've taken a property and brought it up to its highest and best use, and now you're capitalizing on the lift, and you're capitalizing on the cash flow. So you've done an excellent job, I would say, at on this property. And I know it's still in the works, but I think you've done an amazing job.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Well, I learned from the best. So.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having us today.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
I love your list. Getting it all done. This is exactly the way that you keep on track, and making sure that you got everything done. So
that's right. This is the way you keep on track. Nice and organized, and it gets more and more specific as you do more and more houses.
Right.
So yeah, it's been great. So thanks very much for having me.
Thanks.
And I hope to catch you soon.
Yeah.